Hello, today we are going to learn how to make a baby. So, first things first, you're going to need a few supplies. I've got some tape, a stapler, scissors, my baby and placenta, and then I have 2 different grocery bags with the handles cut off. So, 2 fairly large bags. You can use trash bags, you can use grocery bags. I used grocery bags for convenience. So we're going to cut out our placenta and our baby. I think this baby is kind of cute. I was excited. Oh, and I forgot. I also have pipe cleaner. You can use pipe cleaner or yarn. You'll want 2 different colors. So there's our sweet little baby. And we'll cut out our placenta. Okay, so in real life, our placenta is not going to be so one-dimensional. You have the kind of silky, soft, shiny side that belongs to baby, but then you'll also have kind of this meaty side on the back. So you can glue cotton balls, or you could use tissue paper and crumple it up and glue it to the back to kind of represent that and to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. But this is our placenta. I'm going to just kind of leave it. We can use some markers to just give it some color. So we'll add some red to the side that attaches to the birthing person so that we can more easily differentiate it. So we'll just kind of add some swirls to represent those cotyledons. So we've got these spaces that are formed on this maternal side. And in there, there's going to be a nutrient exchange. Baby's blood is going to be filling in from the bottom side, and maternal blood is going to fill in kind of these pockets here. And there's only like 1 or 2 cells of a divide between the two. And you're going to have this beautiful nutrient exchange that is then going to be transported to baby through the umbilical cord. So we're going to make our beautiful umbilical cord. So I'm going to grab 2 pink and I've got a purple. And you can braid these or you can twist it. Usually your umbilical cord is going to be a lot longer than this, but we also have a very small baby and a small placenta. So we're going to give them a more proportional cord. So typically, we are going to have what is called a 3-vessel cord. We're going to have 2 arteries and 1 vein. Now, there are variations of that. You can have 2. Sometimes there are 4, but it's pretty atypical to have more or less than the 3. So we're going to just kind of braid these together. Typically, they are just kind of rotated around each other and protected by a substance called Wharton's jelly. And it keeps the cord from getting overly compressed or too tied up that baby cannot receive everything that they are needing from their parent. So just kind of making their little twisties. And you can see it. Some cords are really thick, some are kind of thin, some are very, very long, some are short, some are very, very coiled, and others are more straight. So there's a lot of variation that you can see, even just in the umbilical cord. If you're doing this in a class, you might see that as people are braiding, especially if you are using pipe cleaners, that you're going to get some different shapes and you'll get some different lengths and things. So it's kind of fun to see that difference. So that's something that your provider is going to be looking for after your baby is born. They're going to be looking and just double checking and making sure that they were correct, that there really were 3 vessels in that cord. That is something that they check for in ultrasound as well. If you elect to have a 20-week ultrasound, they'll be checking to make sure that your cord is looking healthy, that your placenta is transferring nutrients appropriately. And then with your placenta, you have your cord, and it can insert in all kinds of different places. Typically, it's inserted pretty centrally, like is shown in this picture, where it's kind of right there in the middle. But sometimes you'll have an insertion right here on the edge. Sometimes, instead of having it attach right into the meat of the placenta, you're going to have what's called a velamentous insertion. So these vessels are inserting like this, and they're not inserted all the way in there. And so there's just the membranes that are kind of protecting this, and the Wharton's jelly ends, and so it makes it kind of vulnerable right there. So we're not going to do a velamentous insertion. That would take a little bit more work. We're going to go ahead and do a more central insertion. We'll see how far my little stapler can reach. And we'll get that stapled on here. So aiming for a pretty central insertion. Woo. My screen just changed. So we're going to staple that on there. Maybe. Stapler jam. All right, so maybe we'll be taping it on. My kids got a hold of the tape and they undid my preparations. I had this all ready to go. All right. And the tape tore funny, so we'll see what we can get here. My goodness. Okay, well, we've got enough for just this little piece right here. So we'll tape on our cord. And the cord is going to also insert on baby. So we're going to need 2 little pieces of tape here. So inserting our cord, we'll put it right over that insertion spot that they had chosen for this image right here. We're going to tape that down. So now we've got our umbilical cord coming off of our placenta. And we're going to insert it onto the belly of our sweet baby here. And you're going to tape it on right about where the belly button would be. So taping on the cord to our baby. So now we have our baby and our placenta. So these two pieces are connected while baby is developing. So this is how you grow your baby. This is attached to the pregnant person and helping grow your baby. So now we're going to take our two bags. I've got a brown for baby by baby and a white for the chorion. So we've got the amnion and the chorion. So you're going to take your amnion and you're going to stick it inside of your chorion. So you should have your two bags like this. And now you're going to put your baby inside the bag. You're going to have the maternal side out. And you are going to tape your amnion and chorion to your placenta. So we are going to need some more tape. So we will get some more pieces of tape for you. I'm just going to get a nice long piece so we can cut off some little pieces as we go. So the way to go about this is just get started. You're going to tape it on, and then you'll want to add some nice little pleats in order to get both to go all the way around. So we'll cut another little piece of tape here. Tape that on. Oop. That is not where I wanted the tape to stick to, but we're all good. And you will just go all the way around your placenta like that, making these sweet little pleats to make the bag fit.
Mama?
Not right now.
Can I?
I said not right now.
Can I just?
I said not right now.
Can I see if my basketball buddies can play at our house?
And you will just keep going so that it's going around your placenta like that. So we're just still going.
Mama, can I see if my basketball buddies?
I said don't talk to me right now. Jonas, you can see I'm in the middle of something right now.
Yes. Later.
Jonas.
Later.
Jonas.
Okay, I'll wait. See you later.
We're still going. We're almost there. We're almost to a point where we're not going to have to pleat it as much anymore. And then you can kind of blow it up. Your amnion and chorion. So the amnion is on the inside near your baby, and the chorion is lightly attached to the uterine wall. So it kind of helps make sure that nothing is going anywhere. And it's helping to protect against that exchange. So so that nothing is getting transported that isn't supposed to be. And if there's any leaking, can help mitigate some of that by catching it and keeping it near baby. So instead of being filled with air like we're gonna do, it's typically filled with fluid. So I'm gonna have my piece of tape ready. So you'll grab both bags and just kind of blow in there. And then you'll just tape that down. So mine let out some air, but you got kind of a puffy little thing there, right? So now you've got this maternal side of the placenta that is attached inside of the pregnant person. And insertions can happen on all kinds of ways. They can insert down low. They can even insert over the cervix. And that's an indication for being in the hospital and generally needing a cesarean. Typically, you're going to have the placenta near the top of the uterus, which is called the fundus. And sometimes it'll even attach on the front. If you have a placenta that's attached on the front of the belly, you typically aren't feeling as many kicks and wiggles from your baby. But usually it's going to be on kind of that upper side towards your back. And that's where your baby's going to be. So you've got your amnion and your chorion. Chorion is attached, and the amnion, so the chorion is connected to the mom, and the amnion is by the baby. And then your water breaks when you're in labor. Typically, your water is going to break between 5 to 10 centimeters. It can happen sooner than that, but generally you are at or near pushing, and then you're going to be pushing your baby out. And in general, you are going to have a baby come out head first. There are variations to that. So this baby is coming out breech. Yay, baby. But usually you're going to have your baby coming out head first. And then the placenta will follow just a few minutes after delivery. And you will have all of this beautiful connected baby with placenta. And you can opt for delayed cord clamping and have this unit that is connected, and they will just leave this attached. Some providers will immediately, baby is born, and they're going to clamp and cut and separate baby. So you've got baby and placenta. But you can opt to have them remain connected until the cord is done pulsing. And that tells you that all of the blood that is in the placenta, which belongs to the baby, because mom doesn't send blood into the placenta at all. Her blood is just coming to that outside and interacting with baby's blood through that really thin barrier. And you can leave it attached and just have these two units. And then eventually, unless you're doing a lotus birth, they will clamp and cut. So they will place a clamp up here near baby and another, usually it's an instrument like a hemostat, and then they'll cut the cord. Because this is pipe cleaner and I don't want to ruin my scissors, we're not going to do that right now. And then you will have your beautiful baby, and the cord will fall off around 7 to 10 days. And you will have this beautiful baby with a brand new little belly button instead of having their umbilical cord attached. So that is how you make a baby.